Hello, friends from the manga world. My name is G,
And I'm Hector.
and we're here to talk about the October 2024 new releases for manga. And Hector and I, we work for Penguin Random House, so the titles that you'll see today are those that we can sell around the world. And aside from this YouTube channel, we're also on Twitter X, Facebook, Instagram at PRH International Comics. So definitely check us out on those channels and comment down below on what you're interested in picking up. And we'll go ahead. We do get started here on our picks. We'll move into some volume ones, and then we'll end with you could like continue on, look through our continuing volumes that are coming out. Highly recommend checking those out too. And we'll go ahead and get started. So first up is actually me,
Yeah.
and we have Ajin, the demi-human complete one. I love that we're getting a new format for this. Uh, Bigger formats, which is nice, or like thicker, I should say.
Yeah.
So if you aren't aware, the character Kai and at least 46 others, immortality is a very unexpected, nasty surprise for them. He is considered a rare specimen who needs to be experimented on for life, a demi-human who must die basically 1,000 deaths for the benefit of humanity. So it's a nightmare trip of like if you're into that, this is definitely for you. The horror side of things, definitely for you. And we
Yeah.
finally get this in a thicker omnibus format. So I love the fact that we get this in that bigger, thicker trade paperback form. And it's for $24, which is nice. And
Yes.
so that's coming out in October.
Yeah. Very cool. And we continue with Ruthless Render Volume 1. This is written and illustrated by Didi Mark, who the alias of David Daniels. I just found out while I was researching. This is a Western webtoon style manga um, about in a world where words, the expression words are have meaning and they're powerful. Well, in this world, it's literal. Like the power of words can create things, and uh, they have the power of life and death. So Castiel, who you see here, is a high schooler, and he is, he has a side gig as a loan shark, and one of those moments, not being the best kid in, in town, he unfortunately gets killed. But then he gets resurrected by a mysterious force, and his world is turned upside down because he becomes it's captured by a group called Revokers, and he is sort of taken so he becomes a render, which is this creature that can, again, with words create things and destroy things, but he still keeps his human form and not a monster like the other ones. So this group then uses him to sort of fight these renders. It's a very popular webtoon, extremely popular, like millions of views and followers around the world. And it's first time in print. So it's going to be very exciting. Lots of actions being compared to things like, Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, that kind of thing. Very action packed, a little bit of Attack on Titan feel and vibe to it too. So really looking forward to this one. Lots of oh, and the illustrations are amazing too, and it shows a lot of violence, but it's also a lot of beauty within it, especially when they're getting to the showing the creations and the renders doing their thing. So that's that one.
All right, and transitioning here to something very, very different. We
Yes.
have the new recruit, volume one. So this one is a full-colored webtoon finally coming to print in English. And of course, I already watched the K-drama associated with
Yeah.
this. The K-drama is called The New Employee. Very good. Highly recommend watch giving that a go as well. And so this is about Sunghyun, who spent his 20s following his crush throughout college and grad school. And things don't go well in the romantic. That's all it is. It was just a crush. He's totally single, no idea where to go in his career, but he like somehow manages to land this internship in this competitive like marketing company. He's like ready for a new start without like any like a clean start, don't know anybody, right? Like I could remake myself. I go to this
Mhm.
internship and everything will be fine. And of course, as things happen, well, like his supervisor is very, very handsome, but is a workaholic. Not only is his supervisor hot and cold with his attitude, leaving our main character flustered. Things get worse because he's dealing with that, and all of a sudden his crush from school back when ends up working at the same company. So, will our main character survive his first job and a potential start of a new relationship? You're gonna have to read to find out. And of course, it's a romantic title. So, yes,
Yeah.
as you could tell, I'm very excited for this to come out. So, yes.
Excellent.
Mhm.
And we continue with the spellbook library, and I didn't realize I have a little bit of a theme with this first two titles. In this case, it's a world where spellbook librarians protect everybody from dangerous spell beasts, and these are beasts that use spells to attack and create chaos. And there's this uh, boy, John, who you see here on the cover, who, as a child, he was a troublemaker, and he got attacked by a ferocious spell beast until he was rescued by the group of spellbook librarians. And when he was saved by them, he inspired him to become one. So he vows to turn over a new leaf, not being such a troublemaker, and become a spellbook librarian to repay their kindness. So he starts going to this special cool school to take the exams to become one. And he also meets this other boy called Toru, who is another mysterious young boy who has his own reasons for becoming a spellbook librarian. And we follow these two as they are on their way to becoming spellbook librarians to try to protect the world from the spellbook for the spell beast. Sorry, it's been compared to things like Card Captor Sakura, which had Atelier, and the creator is the creator of Love. Is Love the Answer, and also Sayabito Swords of Destiny. And this is one of those Kodansha Reader Portal series, which has been created in Japan and is first time published in English. So this is a very cool concept. I am really looking forward to reading this one. It's definitely right up my alley, the kind of fantasy stuff and you know young heroes trying to become young boys trying to become heroes really, and to go into school to get their powers. So very cool.
Right, next up we have Tiger and Dragon Volume 1. This is a shoujo manga up with like a love triangle between childhood friends. So it all begins when they were kids. From the beginning, we have Konami, who's 5 years old. Her best friend is her neighbor, Kagatora, who moves away. So after 10 years, no communication, Konami decides it's been too long. I have to move on. I don't know where this
Yeah.
person is. Like this childhood crush, just gotta put this away. Luckily for her, her other childhood friend is waiting in the wings, and there's like potential romance right around the corner. It's such a She just needs to say yes. Like it's just right there. It's an option for her. And things get really complicated because Kagatora suddenly returns and her love life is kind of thrown into chaos, and hence the love triangle begins. And so this one coming out of Seven Seas, again, of course, coming out in October.
Yeah. And continuing this roller coaster that we're taking you on from action fantasy to romance to action fantasies back to action fantasy. Here we go with Witch and Mercenary Light Novel Volume 1. This is an action packed fantasy, and in this world, the there's witches and they're extremely dangerous. They are the epitome of terror and fear, and they can summon floods in a whim, conjure balls of fire out in the air, and destroy entire countries overnight. So if you incur their wrath, no one is safe, or at least that's what everybody thinks of them. So there is this mercenary who's been contracted to hunt and kill this witch. His name is Zig, and she's is Siasha. And everybody wants Siasha dead because she's a witch. There's been persecuted. So Zig tracks her down. They have a terrible battle, which at the end Zig ends up winning. But when he's about to kill her, he loses his reason for killing her. He just gives up on it and says no. And as he's leaving, just to you know leave her behind, she tells him, "I have a wish that I want to ask you. I want to ask you to protect me as a mercenary." And he agrees, and they decide together they want to get away from this world and go to this unknown sort of mystical continent that everybody talks about, that exists, that is away from all the drama and everything that is happening in their country, but nobody actually, there's no proof that there is there it exists. So these unlikely duo who wanted to kill each other at one point become partners, and they travel through the country um, to get to this new continent to try to escape from everything and try to live their lives in peace. So I guess we can assume there will be a little bit of romance. So there will be a little bit of romance in this one, unlike the other two that I that I presented. So there you go. It's a light novel which inspired a manga. We're getting this light novel volume 1 in October. I am also extremely excited to read this.
Mhm. And next up, we have for fans, they will be fed with more content. We have the Blue Lock. I was just gonna say this has been
Yeah, I
doing
was going
very,
to say
very
what it
well.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like I should actually mention what it is.
Yeah.
Lots of Blue Lock all on one slide. We have the season one, part one box sets uh, for volumes 1 to 6 included here. So recently, the movie for the prequel manga called Blue Lock, episode Nangi, we have this coming out in manga form. And then we also have the Blue Lock episode Nagi exclusive with the Q Posket figure here. Very cool. So you can get that figure picking up this edition. And of course, to continue on with the series, we have Blue Lock Volume 15 also coming out in October. So lots and lots and lots of Blue Lock this month.
Yeah, well, getting ready for the next season coming up soon, very
Mm-hmm,
soon.
mm-hmm.
And uh we continue with volume ones, other volume ones that are coming out on the month of October. First of all is The Barbarian's Bride Volume 1. A captured knight finds himself betrothed to the leader of the very tribe she was sent to fight in this fantasy manga. And this was, sorry, one of my picks recently in another video. Beetle Hands Volume 1, the full color webtoon comic release on Naverse webtoon platform is now in print. This thrilling English original horror tale follows the friends fighting for survival in a realm where their worst nightmares come to life. And then we continue with Checkmate Volume 1. Very exciting. A lot of people waiting for this. G is one of them that is in line. The colored rivals to lover boys love webtoon coming to print, determined to see a falling ensuing soon with his own eyes, Soju reinvents himself as a reporter and begins dashing out one dirty article after another about him. But who is being manipulated and who's the manipulator? And then last on this slide is how to repair a broken cup. Another amazing BL coming out. A broken cup invokes a time-bending twist. Kipe and Keita both have an opportunity to face each other when the first when they first fell in love a whole decade back, and maybe reignite the passion that's been threatening threatening to fade away. I am looking forward to reading this one because it has that time bending sort of twist in there for it, which I really love.
Mhm. Right, and then continuing on with volume ones, we have very different. The Hungry Succubus Wants to Consume Him, volume one. Temptation meets chastity. So it's basically a sexy comedy manga about this hot and hungry succubus, hence the cover, and
Yeah,
a deliciously handsome monk, completely different. She
yeah.
craves him, and so yeah, you could read that in volume one. Next up, we have a very long title, which tells you everything that you need to know. I abandoned my engagement because my sister is a tragic heroine, but somehow I became entangled with a Righteous Prince light novel, volume one. It's inspired by the manga, and so it's basically a saint under scrutiny is forced to live under a watchful eye of a justice-obsessed prince in this like fantasy romance. And then moving on, Love and Illusion. Basically, if you wanted to pick that up, we do have Love is Illusion Volume 1, but this is basically like a sequel slash spin-off of that hit for the previous one. That's the BL Omegaverse webtoon. So you'll see the character of Pak Dojin, which is like the older sister of Alpha Togyum. So you know, those, if you know, you know.
If you know,
But
you know.
basically, she's on this quest to find her true love. So we're like switching the perspective to a different character here, which is really fun. Again, story and art by Fargo. And then we have Magical Buffs. The support caster is stronger than he realized. This is the manga volume one. So the main character is basically the support mage who like helps other characters defeat, you know, the opponents, and like he's basically like people don't take him seriously because he's just a support mage,
Yeah.
but he can hold his own. He can be on the front lines and he will prove it to everyone, and he auditions for this elite A rank party that his friend recommends him auditioning for. So it's basically this fun action packed fantasy manga, volume one that you can pick up.
And continuing with the volume ones, we have Nakamura-san, uh, The Invited, Gyaru. I can never say that word. Volume one, and it's easily fluster as an easily flustered otaku. Akiyama can't even imagine a world where an ongoing flashy gal like Nakamura wants anything to do with him. But um, after she saves his life, she demands something unbelievable to live with him. But love could blossom between the unlikeliest of couples in this hilarious romantic comedy. And it is very funny. It is extremely comedic. And I love that in the description, she saves his life. It's like basically save him from being lost. But yes, uh, it's very cool. And then continuing with verses one, The compelling and long-awaited new action epic from One, the author of One Punch Man and Mob Psycho 100. Humanity cowers in fear in a world ruled by demons, but a brigade of humanity's 47 strongest heroes band together in a final attempt to uh, wrest back the world back. So obviously, this is long awaited. People, fans of One Punch Man and Mob Psycho 100, are definitely looking forward to this one. Continue with The Villainous and the Demon Knight, light novel volume 1. Sexy isekai light novel that inspired the hit manga, also available from Seven Seas. Cecilia finds herself relentlessly pursued only to wake up the next day in the guy's mansion marked as his fiancée. Bound to his unhinged night, the troubled villainess must endure his obsessive love. But is the intoxicating affection a curse, or is it a blessing in disguise? And then finally, at the end, Your Lie in April, Omnibus 1. This includes volumes 1 to 3, the moving musical drama about love, life, pain, and passion that inspired the hit anime returns in a huge omnibus edition. The collectible reissue includes volumes 1 and 3, like I mentioned, of the manga, over 600 pages of the manga, plus exclusive color art and a new larger size. I'm a huge fan of Your Lie in April. I even suggested they should, you know, put a pack of tissues to wipe off tears when we sell these, but you can just get your own. I'm telling you, if you're gonna read this,
Yeah.
be ready. Get a towel, get a tissues, whatever you need, because you're gonna be bawling by the end.
Mhm. All right,
Next up.
so that basically ends our look through for volume ones, but we'll exit out here, but definitely continue on and watch the rest of this video for continuing volumes coming out in October. Again, comment down below on what you'll be picking up, what you're excited for, and yeah, we'll leave you at that then. Bye, everyone.
Bye.